Hi, I'm here with Ron Kirschner, founder of Heartland Angels. Ron, please tell us about Heartland Angels and the types of companies that you invest in.
Heartland Angels is an organization consisting of many accredited and non-accredited investors, and we've been around since 2003, and we've invested throughout that time period. Obviously, with the downturn in 2008, we didn't do much investing in that year. And we tend to invest primarily in the Midwest, more often than not in Illinois, but in the Midwest, technology-based. A lot of the companies come from universities like IIT or Purdue or Indiana, so we do a lot of university-based programs. Many of the technologies have IP, which are patents, trade secrets, and I think that's a general idea of what we do. Is there's not many things that we don't deal with. We deal with energy, life science, food technology, software, mobile devices, business solutions. So that gives you a range of what we sort of do.
Great. And now how much would you typically invest in a company?
Well, what we do is we typically as a group will probably invest between $200 and $700, $800,000. An individual member can invest a lot less. And so we aggregate that all into one special purpose entity, typically an LLC, and that LLC invests in the company.
Okay.
So it's usually, we try to aggregate the investors. They have more leverage with the company.
Great. And now, how does your process work? How do you come about the startups that you potentially invest in?
Well, we meet a lot of them at various business plans or competitions. So whether it's at Innovation or New Venture Challenge or NPro or at Concept to Venture or the road shows that Purdue has. So we'll see a lot of companies that come through business plan competitions. We also have a lot of companies that come through the incubators, the software incubators like Health 2.0 or the Life Science Incubator at University of Illinois or Downstate. We see a lot of incubator-based companies, and then we get them always through, patent attorneys and accountants and friends of our members. So a lot come through those avenues, and then obviously people just come to us vis-a-vis the internet.
Sure.
Surfing around and have no place to go, so they land on us.
Sure. And now, how do you choose the companies that you invest in? What are some common qualities that you would look for in a startup that you're interested in investing in?
Well, the company typically has to have something that's really unique. Now, I use the word unique, meaning that no one else has something exactly like that. So we're not going to invest in a dry cleaner that basically is 100 feet bigger than other dry cleaners. So we're looking for something that has a technology that's at its base. We're looking for a management team that is, generally speaking, a little experienced, but doesn't have to be, and that some people use the term educable or trainable. Or what I would say is they can be a good partner. So in other words, they don't have to be the one who always is right. They can learn from the experience. And I think the reason why I say that is that the number of failures of venture-backed companies is extremely high. So there's no reason to make it more difficult by having someone who's difficult to work with. I would like to look at large markets and growing markets. So, we tend not to try to get into what I would call a mature market with a slight change. So if you're in the car industry, making another windshield wiper would be my idea of a great technology, but having a stop-start windshield wiper might be. So we look at the markets, we look at the people, we look at the technology, and we look at how they want to finance it. Do they need to finance it by going national? There's a big trend now of trying to do convertible debt, which in some ways is very nice for the company, but not nice for the investors. They don't quite realize that. So there's a movement away from that concept because it really is not investor friendly.
Sure.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Absolutely, it does. And now, what strategies do you use to really create value in the companies that you invest in?
Well, I think the way we do that is that we look at our role as a partner to the company. And that starts initially in our screening process, where we have what we call a point person. Some places call it an ambassador, some people call it a champion. And that person relates to the company and creates a relationship about finding out things that the company needs to have or develop to make them more successful. Then, when we invest, we look to get a board position or an advisory position, a non-board position, to help the company, observer position, to help the company in the areas that they most need, whether it's marketing, sales, operations, finance, technology development. So we try to have someone in that aspect. We have lots of our members who can act as advisors to the company, can act as mentors to individuals, and also they can act as consultants for the company to assist them in some of the aspects that they have, that they need, that they, rather than bringing on as a full-time position, they can outsource. And that creates a lean organization in that sense. It helps them do that. So we, in a sense, open our Rolodex up to them and help them move along.
Great. And now, Ron, in the experiences that you've had and from what you've seen, what truly makes a successful startup, and what are some of the reasons that they fail?
I think a successful startup listens to the response of the marketplace to their technology or to their pitch. The ability to turn or to modify the product, whether they have what's considered a minimal viable product or a fully developed product, the ability to change that product to what the market wants or to change the market is important. The other aspect is the ability of the management team to modify the way it approaches the market or its own people, as well as to augment its capabilities by having more management team, getting better advisors, getting better consultants, or bringing them on in the first place. So I think what makes a successful company is that ability to be flexible and to understand and to change what they're doing so as to move the development of their idea from idea all the way to a commercial product. And then in that process, figuring out a business model, in other words, how you get paid, that is one not only likely to happen, but is scalable. So that yes, they get paid, but it also enables them to grow very, very fast. So a growth rate of 10% is not considered particularly exciting, but someone growing at 45, 100, 150%, 200% a year after year, indicates something that is likely to be successful. So we look for those kinds of things within a company.
Great. And Ron, I have one last question for you. What are your plans for Heartland Angels in the next year?
Well, we are presently growing very quickly now. We're going to be modifying our website to be sure. That's one of our plans. We're creating syndications with other angel groups across the city and outside the state. We've looked at groups in Indiana, as well as Wisconsin, Kansas, and Michigan, as well as Missouri. So creating syndications of various angel groups is one of our goals for this year. Also, we're going to be creating multiple silos. Right now, we're probably known for our life science, but we do a lot in software, which most people don't know, and business services. So creating larger and more frequent silos. We have an aggressive internship program. We have multiple educational programs that we're going to be expanding, as well as a unique funding program that we're developing as it relates to the new Jobs Act and crowdfunding. So we are moving out there. We're going to be expanding our relationships with the various intellectual property law firms, as well as transactional law firms and accounting firms. So we have a very aggressive marketing plan for this year and next year.
Great. Well, Ron, I wish you the best of luck with that. And if you're interested in learning more and connecting with Ron, go to fundology.com.